It's been a long road, but we're finally here in beautiful London, England. In the heart of the financial district stands the magnificent Broadgate Arena. The stage is set for an incredible squash showdown. At the 2005 Brit Insurance Super Series Squash Finals. The 8 players competing here this week have qualified to take part in this final event by accumulating points from 4 different tournaments. They are the PSA Masters, the Hong Kong Open, the Qatar Classic, and last but not least, the Pakistan World Open. The players are split into 2 groups of 4. The Fleet Group contains Thierry Lenku from France, England's own Peter Nicol, Amir Shabana from Egypt, and Canadian Jonathan Power. And in the Harrow Group, the lone Australian David Palmer will square off against England's Lee Beachill, James WILLSTROP, and Nick Matthew. This year's event produced an incredible amount of great matches. They are, in no particular order, Thierry Lenku versus Jonathan Power, Lee Beachill versus Nick Matthew, Peter Nicol versus Amir Shabana, David Palmer versus James WILLSTROP, Thierry Lenku versus Amir Shabana, David Palmer versus Lee Beachill, Thierry Lenku versus Anthony Ricketts, Nick Matthew versus James WILLSTROP, Jonathan Power versus David Palmer, Lee Beachill versus Thierry Lenku.
The final match on day 3, another all-Yorkshire battle between the 2 rising stars of England squash, James WILLSTROP and Nick Matthew. The amazing thing was, earlier, we were delighted to inform Nick that even though he's lost both his matches, if he wins tonight, he can still qualify. That's how tight things are in this group, Charles.
It's great for the event because last year lots of rubber matches that didn't count really on the Wednesday night. Here we are. Every match counts, weighs something in the final outcome. It's really David and Goliath out there too. I mean, Nick Matthew, little guy, and WILLSTROP, a monster of a man at 6'4". They know each other well. There's something in the water in Yorkshire, I suppose.
Yeah, whether it's the Yorkshire tea or the Yorkshire bitter, they're tough competitors. So even though these 2 guys are great mates, they're England teammates, Yorkshire teammates, there'll be no quarter asked or given on that glass court tonight.
The Harrow Group, Nick Matthew serving, James WILLSTROP receiving. Best of 5 games, love all.
So Nick Matthew serving against James WILLSTROP. Final match in the qualifying pools. WILLSTROP signals his intentions immediately with that forehand volley kill.
Well, WILLSTROP hits the ball with so much authority. Just howling drives.
Oh, the tin from Matthew. But James is a big guy. He's putting on a few pounds in weight. You know, that's not puppy fat, that's muscle. And he just buried that cross-court. Front left, Nick. I think he wants to get in the bar. I think he wants to get out the cold. He wants to get into a warm room somewhere. And that's a pretty hot, pacey start from James WILLSTROP. Little inside-out backhand into the front right corner.
You don't see the reverse angle very often in the softball game. Up the middle drive.
Well, these 2 have had some fabulous matches on the PSA Tour. This time Matthew reading WILLSTROP's intentions.
temperature in the marquee
And out. One
somewhere in the vicinity of 3 degrees above Celsius.
I was just going to say, is that above freezing or below?
Well, it's...
And WILLSTROP not quite connecting with that attempted volley, Nick. So Nick Matthew gets on the scoreboard. Last match on, it's, yep, the temperature's dropping.
And the ball is traveling, though. Beautiful
Great shot, Nick the Nick.
2-3.
Now, these two players are practically neighbors.
Yes, Nick lives in the big city, the big steel city, Sheffield. Big fan of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, so he's delighted there in the playoffs for promotion at the end of this season. James from Pontefract. More of a rugby league community.
Well, just to look at him,
That
I
area.
believe that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Great squash from these two guys. Brilliant shot making, fast, spectacular retrieving. Trading winners. That's in the tin from WILLSTROP. He's querying, all balls good. Well, he hasn't said anything yet, actually.
Not at all. What did you say? I have no idea. You were completely in the way.
So you there heard a referee saying, I have no idea.
Yes, well, 2-3.
James asks and receives.
Yes, that's right.
You're serving left side.
Well, the referee could not see if the ball was good.
Yeah.
James WILLSTROP eclipsing the entire front left corner.
Well, that's what Nick Matthews said to James's dad. It's going to be a total eclipse of your son. And there, WILLSTROP at full stretch. And the shot from Matthew goes beyond his reach. Great shot, inside out boast from WILLSTROP.
Good use of the wrist to hide his intentions.
Such a gifted player, James WILLSTROP. Great hands and a gifted musician as well. Fast fingers and a quick brain. Creative brain. Nick Matthew attacking, WILLSTROP responding. Like for like. Getting that winner in the front right corner. Club players should watch that big stride that Nick Matthews showed there into the shot before WILLSTROP hit the ball into the tin. Nick plays real textbook squash. Another boast into the tin from WILLSTROP.
Final.
Nick has a great lean, a great lunge from the middle across to the ball. Great economy of movement.
That's right, he explodes off the tee and lands so gently, allowing him to use the touch that he...
Great lob.
Beautiful.
I think everybody who's seen these two players develop, that's a wonderful shot from Nick Matthews. A backhand cross-court volley, Nick. Everyone who's seen them develop is just absolutely delighted at the way their careers have shaped up. Great kill from WILLSTROP from mid-court. Not easy at that angle when the ball's traveling at pace, directly at your body, to react so quickly. You just drop the ball into the nick.
Well, that ball is certainly traveling. Forget the cold temperatures. These two are heating things up.
That's a great shot. Brilliant pickup. In again from Nick Matthew.
Beautiful
Two
shot.
fabulous drops.
7-6.
And while this match is going on, Thierry Linku is receiving a massage at courtside to warm up his muscles.
Life is good for Thierry.
Big stretch from James WILLSTROP. I don't think he does small stretches.
No.
That ball just beyond Nick Matthews' reach.
And out 7-all.
7-all first game. Nothing to choose between these two players in the opening game.
Well, the only real difference between the two is their size, because their squash is very similar. Each capable of killing the ball.
That's a great shot. Cross-court winner from James WILLSTROP.
So as we approach crunch time, WILLSTROP up 1. A few nicks in the back.
Wow, Nick Matthews putting that ball up and running all over the place, and gets a stroke.
A stroke.
Well, that was his reward for the hard work he put in.
Tenacious Nick.
8-all.
Chasing that ball down.
3 lengths of the court, full sprint, and he earned the point.
A helicopter going overhead. You can hear the buzz. Certainly a buzz from the crowd. An evening of top quality squash.
Perfectly
In that
played.
front left corner from Nick Matthew.
9-8.
Intercepted WILLSTROP's ball. Slow, low ball to the front left.
Drop catch here in the commentary box as that ball goes out of court.
10-8 game ball.
Is that your cold fingers, Charles?
No, it's the producer's hand that got in the way.
Okay. Matthew game ball.
Another nick.
So James WILLSTROP winning that rally.
10 game ball.
Matthew still on game ball. It's down, that's in the tin. Tie break time again.
Tiebreaker.
So James WILLSTROP dodging a bullet, inching his way back up, erasing a 2-point deficit, but Nick Matthew
Great shot. Kill off the serve.
definitely getting his point across.
And Matthew gets the penalty stroke to take the opening game against James WILLSTROP in this all-England battle. It was Nick Matthew taking the opening game. Matthew serving his giant opponent.
That's right, the referee's mistake went right over Nick Matthews' head. But not much goes right over James Willstrop's head.
Absolutely.
At 6'4½".
So Willstrop, 1 love. These boys will need to warm that ball up. So while it's cold, they'll be looking for some nicks at the front of the court. Well, these two will be looking for nicks anywhere.
That's right. Beautifully
That's sent to
held
the
by
back.
Willstrop.
Winner from Willstrop.
2 love.
2 love to James Willstrop. Just a great evening of squash here in the Broadgate Marquee. This is just fabulous squash here in this London landmark.
Well, Nick Matthew is just whipping that ball, using a lot of wrist.
This is great stuff. Matthew lobs, and that's a winner. That dies in the back left corner. James Willstrop electing to let that one go by, now regretting his decision.
Absolutely, that hit bounced into one nick and into the other.
This time Nick Matthews sent to the back of the court. He tumbles to the floor. Gets up quickly.
No, I'm afraid not.
No damage done and no let. Nick asking, not receiving. Explaining to the officials. He thinks he could have got that.
First bounce was here.
Well, optimism is certainly an important quality.
Absolutely. And that was an optimistic appeal.
Well, James Willstrop earned that rally. He forced Nick Matthew out of the play.
Matthew working the ball deep. Slicing it cross court. Same from Willstrop. Great winner. The magic hands of James Willstrop. Slicing that ball across court. And that's sat up at the front, sent deep by Nick Matthew. And as it gets cooler and cooler here on court, that's amazing stuff from both players. Treating this audience to real top quality exhibition shots.
Just clipped the top of the tin, but everyone loving it.
James Willstrop's racket ends in the nick, but the point goes to Nick Matthew.
2-4.
So Nick Matthew getting ready to serve from the right box. Here in the heart of the financial district. And these two young men playing some great squash in exalted company. More than holding their own at the top table. Stroke to Nick Matthew. Willstrop looking for the nick. It's a great stretch. Lob from Matthew.
Bought himself a lot of time, allowing him to get back to the center.
This is great stuff. And that was a step too far for James Willstrop. Nick Matthew attacking the volley with some venom. Fires the serve at James Willstrop's body.